Back to another stream, another episode of the Self-Development with Tactics podcast. And as always, we are going to start with the intro, and today we're probably going to go through some Reddit things. It's probably going to be about Stoicism, once again, as so seldomly. Today's a good day. Today may not be the most beautiful weather, but today is the 23rd of December, and good things are ahead, I'd say, or something. And I do dearly hope that this is also going to be the case for you as well, that you are in front of times that mean a lot for you, and times of happiness and goodness. Let's put it like this. I think that's quite fine. Anyway, as I said, today we're going to go through some Reddit things. So let me sort everything real quickly, and let's do this and that and the other thing. Or let's have a look at Reddit in general. Sometimes from time to time, one does encounter like the same thing over and over again when it comes to the Stoicism subreddit, which is understandable. A lot of topics, a lot of things are a lot of people have to deal with the same things. This is what I want to say, quite essentially. But also, while I'm talking about that, I do have to upload a picture for Instagram. By the way, I'm using Buffer to schedule all the posts that I'm having, because, it makes things easier for me on one hand. On the other hand, it is just also nice because you can schedule to different platforms. So at the time, I'm having LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook scheduled. Back in the days, I was also using Twitter, but it's quite the unnecessary thing to just use them in like, how should I say? I post there, yeah. Do I care about most of the platforms? No, I really don't. Probably the platform that I do care most about are Instagram and TikTok, where, on TikTok though, I just, do some other stuff, like more podcasty stuff, more philosophical stuff, whereas on all the other platforms, it is more about design, two of my passions, so to speak. If it is smart to kind of differentiate, it depends. I think, But it is just a very nice way to be faster and also more efficient. On the other hand, it is always a bit of a tricky thing. It's always like a question whether the performance posted through software is the same as posted on your phone, because of course the algorithm may just be like, okay, you haven't used the app, you haven't given us some on-app time, so we're gonna punish you with less reach, for example. And I do think that this is even the case, but yeah, it is what it is in the end. And what are some books that you started but didn't finish in 2021? We might actually also go through some articles. So let's have a look at the Psychology Today site. From time to time, you can find pretty interesting and pretty good articles there. Relevant ones, but of course, since women exhibit 4 different types of sexual fluidity, recent research reveals that women exhibit 4 distinct types of sexual fluidity, which differentially correlate with other aspects of women's sexuality. There we go, really relevant. Why does women's clothing have to be so uncomfortable? This is actually something rather interesting for me. Me as a person that does care about design quite a bit, I'd say. It's not like it's unimportant for me, even though I do have to point out that fashion. I've never been too overly concerned about fashion. I've never actually as well been a very fashionable guy. On one hand, on the other hand, I still don't really know how to clothe most often, and I am just aware of when things do not fit me well. I know, of course, sometimes I'm a bit of a lucky guy and encounter a good combination of things that I'm already having, and in the end, I would assume 80% is the fit. I do really not care at all about brands. Also not really quality, to be honest. I do care about the price though. Anyway, new research finds women's clothing is more likely than men's to cause pain. New research suggests that women are more likely than men to wear clothing that hurts, interrupts their focus, or makes it difficult to move. Women wear between 3 and 10 times more likely than men to wear shoes that cause pain. People who wore painful, distracting, or restricting clothing reported spending more time monitoring how their body appears to others. It is a saying that too many girls and young women grow up hearing, "Beauty is pain." From hair removal to facial injections to plastic surgery, for many women the pursuit of physical attractiveness comes with pain and discomfort. But there is a more everyday type of beauty-related pain and discomfort that many women endure, the kinds that comes from simply wearing women's fashions. A new research conducted by my lab, the Body and Media Lab at Northwestern University, we conducted that we believe to be the first scientific research study of how often women... I do want to point out, we conducted what we believe, which, does not mean that this is a fact, but it's just what they think. And I do somehow think that my camera has gotten better. And I don't know why, it does not make any sense. Maybe it's the light today, since it's a bit cloudy, which, is a very flat one anyway. The results were clear. Women are substantially more likely than men to wear clothing that hurts. Is it better like this? I don't know. Maybe. But it would be better like this, I'd assume. Like this. Let's see. A quick glance at the fashion landscape certainly suggests that women's clothing is less comfortable than men's clothing tends to be. But even questions for which the answer seems obvious deserve empirical scrutiny. After all, the first step in changing a pattern is often to carefully document it. We conducted 2 large surveys, both prior to the COVID-19 pandemic, that asked nearly 800 men and women. Well, it's actually not that of an interesting article, but I think the point just is wear comfortable clothing. I think that, why would you? Why fucking would you wear something all day long? Especially when it is at work and whatnot, that is so uncomfortable, or uncomfortable, whatever, I don't care. So that it is kind of distracting you from work on one hand, but also on the other hand is just, making it way harder for you to do just whatever the fuck you want to do. Like, no, just do not. How much should you spend on a romantic partner's gift? If we could teach only one, forgiveness or math, well, puzzling relationship between pet keeping and happiness, how to hallucinogenic drugs change our personality? ? Do psychopathic personalities achieve more career success? Are you having a hard time getting into holidays this year? Not only, well, Reddit. Here's what I noticed about the self-improvement community. First of all, a lot of people have the victim mentality. Second, most answers you'll find are not practical at all. Third, a lot of people seek validation. Well, this is actually a very negative view of this community and of these people, because I wouldn't really say so. The victim mentality, yes, it is definitely something that I've seen before, but well, I would say that this is something that, that is just people, period. It's just what people are, what people do, what it is like and whatnot. It's nothing, well, I think it is not really about the self-improvement community. Seeking validation, well, once again, I guess it is something that we all do, something we all want to have, but yeah, period. Does anyone else feel like all they do is work and sleep these days? Today I learned if a camel rejects her newborn or there is a need to adopt an orphan calf, Mongol herds use a chanting ritual accompanied by fiddle or flute to coax her into accepting their calf. The camel mother may act aggressively initially, so the herds will change the melody depending on her behavior. That's really cool, actually. Really, really cool. Anyone know books depicting the descent into insanity? I chickened out of offing myself. I just want to keep doing more from this point and be the best person for me and be enough for someone else someday. What things can I do? Well, the thing is, and be enough for someone else someday. This whole being enough thing, it is very difficult. I do understand the point of view, and I do also understand the thought, and I do also understand like the fear of not being enough for somebody, for something, for whatever it may be, actually, but really big but. Like, it is something very subjective. We all have different, first of all, personalities, and we all have different things that we're looking for in a partner. Sometimes things work out really well, sometimes things don't. It's I think a pretty big part of it is luck, quite. Of course, you can be a good person and you can be a good potential partner, period. It is something like a quote-unquote skill or a set of certain variables that go into that. Well, of course, if you're healthy, then this is one check. When you are a nice person, I would say, and I'm just, going to talk about something else as well afterwards, and this is also another check. If you take care of yourself, appearance-wise, well, also health-wise, your body, your physical attractiveness and whatnot, this is also a check. If you yourself are happy, this is a tremendous fucking check. And if you take care of your relationships, this is also a big check. For me, relationship is a tremendously and amazingly great way to improve your quality of life even further. So you're already at 100, 90%, 80%, and this is going to send you to, I don't know, 120%. But the point of a relationship is not to become happy or get happy or whatever. This is not what a relationship should be about. You should already be happy before. And I do clearly understand, and this is why I've pointed out like the 90, 80%, that being in a relationship really does make you happier. It is just the case, period. Especially when it comes to romantic relationships, this is just going to improve your quality of life. Since you're always going to have social interactions, you're always going to be, also cutting and all these things that have proven to release certain hormones that are good for us, and so on and so forth. It just makes sense, period. It is what it is. On the other hand, though, which type of person are you trying to attract? The whole nice guys finish last thing, there is some truth to it, but it also heavily depends on whom you're trying to attract, on which type of person you're trying to attract. Of course, if you're just trying to attract some sluts, well, this is gonna well, you're going to have a very certain approach to that as compared to attracting somebody that, attracting somebody that you think is wifey material. Let's put it like that, from a male perspective, and or husbandy type of thing. This is something completely different. A one-night stand is something completely different than a long-term relationship. Also, when it comes to the qualities the person is having, and so indeed, being good enough, as dumb as it may sound and as obvious as it is, it stems from you and your own development, and if you're happy with yourself, then that's it. Then it is about the other person that may just have different subjective quality needs, different subjective attractiveness needs and whatnot. Like, of course, there's going to be a lot of variables that play into that. Financial freedom, quote unquote, is also a big thing. Like, not gonna lie, it's not a secret, I'd say. But what I would focus on, being in such a position, is working on myself and working on my personality, my craft, my appearance as well. Just because it's not only giving you more opportunities when it comes to mating and dating and relationships, but this is also gonna result in an overall improvement of life quality. Period. And this is a fucking fact. And this is not only going to lead to better relationships, so romantic relationship, but also relationships in general, and also the relationship to yourself and who you are. Something to keep in mind and something to not forget about. The relationship that you're having with yourself is also a potential, or a fundamental part of you being actually able, quote unquote, to meet somebody and be in a relationship and so on and so forth. Like, I don't know, if you're unhappy as fuck, like, may not be the most attractive thing. Faking your happiness, on the other hand, when you're already dating, may not be the best option either. But yeah. Same but different. For a school project around the world, quote unquote equal, I designed a poster using 68 unique handwritings from people all around the world. Feedback is always appreciated. I do really enjoy the poster. I do really do. Especially because it is handwritten. Might be just Helvetica, which is, fine. I'm not sure though about this angle, which, kind of for me feels like going down, which is not something good. Would better to tilt it like this, or for your view like that. This is positive and this is negative. This is forward, this is backward. Having a rectangle tilted in that way versus that way. Going from the left bottom to the right top corner would have been better at my point of view, just because I'm seeing it. But I really do enjoy it. I do really like it. Let's see what people are saying. This is really cool. Okay. This challenge for this project was to design an experimental poster based on the word equal. The result, a poster using your well. I like it a lot. It is a very neat and strong concept. For me personally, I just wonder if there would be some other solution to the overlapping of the equal words with the same but different title, and also with the contemporary poster exhibition. I find both initially a bit hard to read. Also, the title is behind the equal words, while contemporary poster exhibition is above. Perhaps shifting both above it or fading a bit the equal words could improve it. Just my 2 cents. This is a super nice poster. yeah, it is something that I also thought about. It's a bit hard to read, and may have actually like just filling it with this background would have also been probably a pretty nice idea. Well, I do want to point out something. A comment saying, "This is so simple yet so nice, I really like it." Added, "To be fair though, this is not really about typography. I guess r/lettering or r/graphic design could like it, but I do not know those subs. It is completely about typography. First of all, it is handwritten typography. Second of all, it is a type poster. Only because there is a picture just in the very back of it, like, doesn't mean that it is not about typography. My point of view." One last thing. Why do you doom scroll and how to fix it? Modern Agatha Christie Mysterious. Dogs are some of the best stoics. Clients wants to put a video behind a paywall. I know how to create gated content with blah 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 blah. Democracy is a battle of ideas, but one that depends on treating opponents as legitimate adversaries, not treasonous enemies. Jonathan Wolfe, Oxford, on Hobbes, Democracy and Loyal Opposition. Well, yeah, I think, or at least at my point of view, it is always useful in a discussion, in a conversation, to treat the other person, and, well, in general, treating the other person as well as I can, or as good as you can, as you know what I mean. Don't have to explain that. On the other hand, well, yeah. With that being said, I'm gonna end the episode. Bye bye.